Have you ever wondered if something you do every single week could suddenly make your body surprise you in a mirror? Maybe a small change in your routine, and suddenly, your muscles seem to come alive right before your eyes. Most people never notice the little moments when their bodies start to transform. But what if you could spot the signs sooner? Imagine realizing that something you've been doing, almost by accident, is actually helping you more than you thought. If you're in your golden years, or if you care deeply about someone who is, you know how important it is to pay attention to the details. After 60, even a gentle shift in your daily habits can mean the difference between feeling strong or feeling tired. This is not about criticism or pushing anyone too hard. It's about caring, about noticing, and about celebrating every small victory your body gives you. Today, I'll show you what many people overlook when it comes to these little changes. You'll see how simple actions, sometimes done without a second thought, can make a visible difference, and how you can use this knowledge to your advantage. What we're talking about is real, and it's based on what actually works for people just like you. Before we dive in, tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far our circle of care and curiosity can reach. Drop your city or country in the comments. It always makes my day to hear from you. And trust me, the first thing to look for might be happening in your own hands, even as you watch this video. How you button your shirt, notice the way you button your shirt, or fasten tiny hooks and zippers. It might seem like a small detail, but it quietly tells a bigger story about your muscles and nerves. Struggling to line up a button, or fumbling with a clasp you once handled easily, is more than just a nuisance. It's a gentle signal your body is sending. Imagine your hands as skilled dancers. When their rhythm slows or their steps falter, it's a clue that your coordination or strength is shifting. This is one of the first things attentive doctors watch for. Not the dramatic changes, but the subtle hesitations, the quiet pauses, the moments when your fingers don't quite obey. Let's bring this to life. Picture Maria, 78, who notices it now takes her a little longer to button her blouse each morning. She turns this into a daily habit, practicing with different shirts, sometimes laughing at herself, sometimes proud when it's easier. She feels a quiet confidence grow. She still has control, and she's working to keep it. Now, think of Jorge, 82. He shrugs off the growing frustration whenever he tries to fasten his jacket. One day, he simply gives up, asking someone else for help. The moment leaves him embarrassed, a sharp reminder of something slipping away. If these signals go unnoticed, the consequences creep in slowly. You might start avoiding shirts with buttons altogether, relying more and more on others for simple tasks. Fatigue and frustration can grow. Daily routines become battles instead of rhythms, and independence quietly slips from your grasp. But you can fight back, gently and simply. Try picking up coins from a table or sorting buttons by size. Keep a softball nearby and squeeze it during TV time. Even using clothespins to hang socks can wake up muscles and nerves you haven't used in a while. And as you notice these small signs in your hands, a question lingers. What's happening elsewhere in your body? What other whispers might you be missing? Third sign, shadows of forgetfulness. Have you ever found yourself pausing in the middle of the kitchen, a list in your hand, unsure of whether you've taken your medicine or why you walked in there in the first place? These aren't just innocent lapses. They can be quiet moments when the mind feels slightly out of step, a hidden tug that pulls your day off course. Often, we joke about these slips, calling them senior moments and brushing them aside. But when these moments multiply, when appointments are missed or questions repeated, they can quietly sap our confidence and color our days with frustration or guilt. Take Elena, 71, who noticed she was starting to miss her favorite radio show and hesitated to call her granddaughter for fear she'd repeat a story. Instead of shaming herself, Elena started writing down her appointments and even her daily stories in a small, cheerful notebook. This simple shift became a ritual of self-kindness. She found relief in seeing her thoughts on paper and pride as she ticked off her daily wins. Her neighbor, Paolo, 80, took another path. When he forgot to return a friend's call, he laughed it off at first. But as the slips continued, he grew embarrassed and started declining invitations. certain he'd say something wrong or forget what he meant to share. Days grew quieter, but also lonelier, as Paolo's world gently shrank. Not from any dramatic event, but from small choices to step back, to protect himself from the discomfort of uncertainty. Ignoring these changes doesn't erase them. It lets them spread, quietly eroding self-assurance and joy. But gentle actions can help. Try a simple memory game with a friend, or keep a whiteboard in the kitchen with the day's tasks and joyful reminders. Even reading aloud or doing a daily crossword can nudge the mind awake and bring a sense of accomplishment. Of course, not every sign appears in the mind. Some changes are felt deep within the body, even before the day truly begins. Let's turn our attention now to the silent signals your body might be sending, even when you're sitting still. When sleep doesn't restore, the hidden weight of unrefreshing rest sometimes. The most telling sign isn't what you do during the day, but how you feel when the morning comes. Imagine opening your eyes after a full night's sleep, only to sense a heaviness that lingers, as if you never truly rested at all. This isn't just ordinary tiredness. It's a kind of fatigue that sleep alone can't erase. It's waking up and feeling as though the spark that once powered your steps has dimmed. Deep down, your body and mind are asking for more than just time in bed. They're craving true restoration. This silent exhaustion often slips by unnoticed because it doesn't shout, it whispers. Maybe your muscles ache a bit more, or your thoughts move slower, or you find it harder to muster the energy for things you once enjoyed. It isn't laziness or just getting older. Sometimes, it's your body's way of telling you its rhythms of repair and renewal are out of sync, even if you're doing your best. Take Anna and Roberto. Anna, in her late 70s, learned to protect her nights. She dims the lights, turns off the television, and gives herself quiet before bed. She wakes with a gentle energy, not the vigor of youth, but a steady readiness for the day. Roberto, her neighbor, rarely thinks about how he sleeps. He dozes off in front of the TV, wakes at odd hours, and naps whenever fatigue crashes in. His days blur together, often clouded by forgetfulness and a sense of disconnection, while Anna feels more present, more herself. Over time, these patterns add up. When rest isn't restorative, the body struggles to heal, muscles remain sore, and the mind becomes less clear. Immunity may falter, motivation wanes, and even small joys feel out of reach. But it doesn't have to stay this way. Shifting your bedtime to the same hour each night, dimming lights as evening falls, or stepping outside for a gentle morning walk can begin to reset your body's clock and restore what was lost. Rest is more than sleep. It's how you care for yourself in the quiet hours. And as we look ahead, let's wonder together, if sleep renews the body, what happens when nourishment fades? The answers may surprise you. When eating loses its flavor, there's a moment when meals stop being a highlight of the day. Maybe the taste fades, or you find yourself skipping lunch without even thinking. What seems like a small change, a forgotten snack, a dinner left unfinished, can signal something much bigger. Food isn't just about filling the stomach. It's about memory, comfort, and connection. When the joy of eating fades, your body quietly pays the price. Think of Rosa, 74, who still sets the table for herself every afternoon. She keeps it simple, a bit of rice, colorful beans, maybe a juicy slice of tomato. Sometimes she plays her favorite song. Even alone, she brings care to her meal. Across the street, there's Mr. Joao, 81. He used to love breakfast with his wife. Now, with her gone, he grabs a piece of bread, eats standing up, and hardly notices the taste. Some days, he forgets to eat it all. Over time, this gentle neglect adds up. Muscles shrink, fatigue creeps in, the world feels heavier, and small joys slip away. Sometimes, when the plate stays full, the body begins to empty, slowly and silently. Not just in strength, but in spirit. But it doesn't have to be this way. Try eating at the same hour each day, so your body remembers to feel hungry. Add a splash of color, a slice of fruit, a handful of greens. Drink a glass of water with each meal. If you can share a coffee or a simple lunch with someone, even once a week. These small rituals can wake up your appetite and your heart. Because while food feeds the body, sometimes the soul is waiting for a different kind of nourishment. Days without real conversation sometimes. The biggest warning sign is the quiet that fills a room. Not just the absence of sound, but the absence of being truly seen or heard. When days pass without real conversation, without someone asking how you're doing or sharing a simple laugh, something inside starts to dim. It's not only the heart that feels it, the body does too. Movement becomes slower, motivation slips away, memory gets foggy, and even the immune system can falter. Isolation isn't always loud or obvious. It's a slow, silent drift that can touch every part of you. When no one checks in, even your muscles seem to forget what it's like to respond or come alive. Take Mr. Paolo, who at 82 makes a point to call his sister every Sunday, to wave at neighbors during his morning walk, and to invite his grandson over for a cup of tea. His days have a gentle warmth. The world feels present, colors are sharper, and he stands a little taller. Then there's Donna Lucia, 78, whose days are spent reading alone, meals eaten in front of a quietly humming TV, her phone silent except for the occasional spam call. The silence grows heavier each week, and with it, her steps become slower, her thoughts less clear, her smile rarer. Over time, this invisible distance can weigh down the spirit, cloud the mind, and weaken the body's natural defenses. Mood darkens, days blur together, and even small activities feel like mountains to climb. It's not just about being alone. It's about what starts to fade when no one's around to notice you, to remind you that you still matter. But this tide can turn with one small gesture. Try calling a loved one, even if just for 5 minutes. Say hello to a neighbor or join a community group, in person or online. Sometimes, sending a message to someone from the past is enough to spark a little light. These steps don't have to be big, they just have to begin. And if silence has the power to soften the spirit,